hello again, everyone. This is Cynthia, your host. Welcome back to the show. And today, as you can tell from the intro, we are doing a hearty, delicious meal. Today, it's all about the beef tips with gravy. This is a mouth-watering meal. It's very flavorful. The meat is tender, and it can serve, a small amount of people or a large amount of people. This is a fan favorite. I think you're really going to enjoy it. So let's get into the kitchen and get into this recipe. We will start this off with 2 pounds of ground chuck. We have our ground chuck cut into those 1/2-inch cubes. Now that we have our meat diced, we're going to pour in 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I have my helper here who is so meticulous about how to pour in that olive oil. Next, we're going to coat our meat with our seasoning mix. Now, what we have here is a mixture of 1 tablespoon garlic powder, 1 tablespoon kosher salt, and 1 tablespoon of pepper. Just pour that over the meat. We have our seasonings on the meat. Now it's time to get in there and make sure that it's thoroughly coated. Time to get to work. Now that our meat is seasoned and thoroughly coated, we're going to put a large pot on the stovetop on medium-high heat. We're going to add enough olive oil to completely coat the bottom of the pan to get it started. Once our olive oil is heated up, let's add the beef to the skillet. Now it's time to brown that beef on both sides, and that's going to take approximately somewhere between 3 to 4 minutes on each side. Once the meat is browned and looking really good, and my goodness, smelling really good on both sides, it's time to remove from the skillet and let it rest on a plate. Using the same pot we used to cook the meat, we're going to reduce the heat to medium-low and add our diced onions, about 1/2 cup. Stir that around, continue to stir until they become slightly translucent. And then we're also going to add in some pinches of salt, 3 pinches of salt to do the trick. In goes 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. And now we were going to add in 1 can of tomato paste, and nice and thick, so take it and scoop it on to the side, scoop it all around, get all of that yummy tomato goodness in there. Sprinkle in 1/2 cup of flour. This is going to help thicken up our mixture, so go ahead and take it and scoop that all around, get it stirred in. Now we're going to add in 3.5 cups of beef broth. Stir it in, and we're going to bring that to a simmer, stirring constantly. Let's add in 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Turn up that heat, let it simmer. Now that this is brought to the thickness that we want, let's add the beef back into the pot. We're going to add in 2 bay leaves, thyme, and rosemary. Now let's transfer this to a crock pot. We're going to set this on low to cook for about 1 to 2 hours. And also, once this is done to the thickness that we want, we're going to remove all of those aromatics While that is cooking, let's make our mashed potatoes. We have here a 5-pound bag of potatoes that we've peeled. Next, we're going to slice each potato into cubes of 4. We're going to salt this water and bring this to a boil until the potatoes are fork tender. Using a small saucepan on the stovetop, we are going to create the yumminess for our mashed potatoes. Put this on medium-high heat. We're going to add our first ingredient. I ran out, but it should be a half a cup of either whipping cream, or we're going to add half and half, so half a cup of that into the saucepan we go. Next, we're going to add a half a stick of butter. Of course, some kosher salt, regular salt will do too, and pepper to taste, of course. We're going to go again with that rosemary and that thyme. We're going to keep this on a simmer, checking constantly because we don't want this to actually boil. Our potatoes are ready. We have drained out the water and poured them into a container. And now I'm just taking a potato masher and I'm going to give this like a mash, but not completely mashed down, but getting rid of some of the bigger clumps. And then we're going to add the yummy goodness. There you are, yummy goodness. I'm just going to skim off those aromatics that I put in there, and we're going to take this and pour this over the roughly mashed potatoes. There we go. Yummy, yummy. Get that poured in there, and then we're going to mash these to your desired consistency. If you like them a little thicker, if you like them a little thinner, however you like, just pour that mixture in until you get to your desired consistency and get those mashed. Here we go. I've just added a little salt and pepper to the top, reached inside of that crock pot, poured this over the top, and yummy, yummy. This is delicious, mouth-watering. It smells so good, and I'm about to have dinner. If you have any questions about this meal, please leave it down in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you again in the kitchen.